thousand towns we're walking, the feeling, all the thunder up this talking, just wondering how these lives might play. Like diamonds, the movement through the years feels like a violence, till everything is clear and all the silence refined was all you once might say. The long day. Well, I'm not that changed, I'm not the same. I'm feeling all the hours slip away and fade like Ferris wheels, the seasons reel, constantly in motion but too slow to roll away. Someday, someday. Take this simple undecided to the ashes, justify the fire, find the madness of trying to write in black and white. It hide inside your mind deep as an ocean, and rising with the tide of people close. I'm not that changed, I'm not the same. I'm feeling all the hours slip away and fade like Ferris wheels, the seasons reel, constantly in motion but too slow to roll away. Someday, someday. I'm not that changed, I'm not the same. I'm feeling all the hours slip away in place like Ferris wheels, the seasons reel, constantly in motion but too slow to roll away. Someday, someday. Someday I'll find my way. Are you ready? By the way you ask, I'm not sure I am. What are we waiting for? When does it ever turn out the way you planned? I'm not sure that it can. I can tell you that on every road that led us here was paved. You say very well then. Not every mountain we'd move would look the same, and so we'll never look the same. Its weight in the gold, we'll spend in all of our tomorrows. Are you ready? In a way it feels we've only just begun, and we're not the only ones. Farewell to all we've held on to, been treating me well, but it's time for something new. Oh, let mercy and grace flow on through these veins for all of our days. Farewell to all we've held on to, been treating me well, but it's time for something new. Economy of all we've known, worth its weight in the gold, we'll spend in all of our tomorrow. I wanna lie under 1,000 lights, watch each star fade and slowly die. Where they came from and where they'll go, the truth is we don't know.
これこういう人だったらごめん。
最強これ。
I wanna live 100,000 years. I wanna see the way the story bends, and I wanna follow where the science goes. The truth is we don't know. Yeah, we don't know. I wanna understand the way I am, and all these visions of some other land. Why we just can't seem to let it go. The truth is we don't know. How I long to believe in all the things that I let go, but the truth is we don't know. sing to you. I was told it's the best thing to do, to keep me running through your mind, wasting all your time, wondering where I am. Do you mind if I place your name in between words that I can't quite say? It's been romantic ride, and you'll start singing songs that work straight to me. But I'll probably just play it without a word. Stay the best song singer that you've never heard. I'll probably just sing some song you already know. I won't show the best side of me, in case you don't like what you see. And with every single line I found to these wild words of mine, I found madly in love, leave the others in the dust and run away somewhere. But I'll probably just play it without the words. Stay the best song singer that you never heard. I'll probably just sing some song you already know. Yeah, I won't show the best side of me, in case you don't like what you see. Maybe the next time, the one after that, I will. I'll probably just play it without the word. Stay the best song singer that you never heard. Probably just play some song you already know, 'cause I won't show the side, in case you don't like what you
Coffee cups and Santa Claus, stockings hung, the snow is falling. I can hear holiday songs from the radio right down the hall. The stars atop our Christmas tree, kids asleep with Christmas tunes. Hope you'll stay right next to me for a little while. Merry Christmas, darling. Mistletoe and crackling fire, sparks in all the children's eyes. Love everything about this time of year. And I just wanted you to know 1,000 Christmases may go right by, and all I want is all right here. Very Merry Christmas, darling.